Should we wait for another couple of minutes? Or we can start off?
Your call. I'm good. I can wait for another few minutes.
Okay.
Maybe you want to start with the initial poll
Part of,
while people
right.
are joining in and
Right.
Yeah, icebreaker.
Yeah, we can do that. To begin with, good evening, everyone. I'm Doel Sham. Before I get into the introductory part of the session, I would request all the participants in this room, if it is possible, you can switch on your video. It would make the interaction more lively and more comfortable. It will have a one-to-one flavor to the entire session. And, we know what the session what is the expectation from the session is. But before that, I would request you to take on to the chat and answer, do you think tax planning is important? And I know for sure we will have very insightful, answers to this particular question of mine. I again repeat myself, do you think tax planning is important? Even if it is not important, it is okay, fine with us. If it is important, all the, better. So what do you think? The tax planning is important. Is someone, has chatted, has reverted back? Okay, yes, Athira, yes, we are there with you. Very, very important. Yes, Geeta, we know it is important, but there is no right or wrong answer to it. So even if you think that, yes, it is not important, we are there with you, and we will change that, view of yours after this session, So that is one thing. And also, we would also like to know from you, do you understand? This is the most important part. Do you understand how income tax is calculated? Do we understand, how income tax is calculated? Yes, no, or whatever, is your viewpoint, you can put it in the chat box. We will get into it and look into it and see if it is okay, if it is not okay, a little bit. Yes, that's very honest of you, Athira, a little bit. I, for myself, I can talk, I don't understand IT at all. So yes, I don't. So I will request, yes, understand, but don't agree. Okay, Geeta. Okay, got it. Okay, while we are into our chat box conversation, I'd request my colleague, Farisha, to launch the poll one. And if every one of you could participate in it, that will give us an insight. Okay. The poll one question, do you think tax planning helps you to save taxes? Okay. We will keep the poll one question, for another 10 seconds or so. Someone, is saying that I'm new to this topic and would like to learn more. Yes, definitely. So we are all here in this session to understand, to know more and broaden our horizon. Yes, it ensures savings on taxes. 91% is saying that. Okay, 92% here, they are all saying that yes, it ensures savings on taxes. 13% is saying I'm new to this topic and would learn to, would like to learn more. Of course, definitely. You can also, put in your questions, while the session is going on in the chat box. And after the session, we will take the questions, if not all, a few of the questions, we'll take it up and we will try to address them to the best of our ability. Can we share the results, Parisha? Yes, it ensures savings on taxes is what 87% is now saying. And I'm new to this topic and would like to learn more is the viewpoint of 13% of the participants. Okay, good. So we are on the, in this exciting evening, we have our very own Neha with us. Neha is not new to us, and for some of you, she is someone, we bank upon for our knowledge on taxes, on numbers, on finance, on money. She's an integral part of She Knows Money. She is the founder of Runista, and I have been through her sessions earlier. And for those of you who are new to her session this evening, you will understand, why you will keep on coming back to Neha's session after today's evening. Okay, so with that, I open the stage to Neha on the session on tax planning. Over to Neha. Thank you for being with us at the beginning, okay? And I know for sure that this would be one of those crackling sessions where the takeaways will stay with us for rest of, our journey. Thank you. With that, I would request you to begin the session, please.
Thank you so much, Doyle, for those kind words. And I really do hope, because taxes is one of those topics, that it comes across as dry, but something we need to do. We need to know about it. If anyone in the room agrees with that, you can feel free to talk about it. It's also one of those pain points. None of us really want to pay taxes. Whenever we talk about it, the first thing is, how do I not pay any of this, right? So today's session is going to start as usual from the ABC, and we'll also talk about some surprise or some little secrets of how you can actually save your taxes. And of course, like always, we will have one little practical activity, hopefully, which you all will enjoy, right? So hi everyone, and whoever's coming in for the very first time, it's always good manners when you meet someone for the first time to introduce yourself. So let me introduce who I am and what we do at Womanista. So the name is confusing for many, so I thought let's break it down. It's Women, Money and Sisterhood. So we're building a financially smart community of women who want to take control of their finances. I'm Neha Singh and the founder of this platform, and we launched this dream in 2020 because across many years of working, I would often come across women who were earning money but still not taking independent money decisions. They were not owning this money. They didn't really take the pride to create wealth and assets for themselves. So this is the narrative which we are trying to change. Over the last 2 years, many features, many accolades, many partnerships like the one that you see today. And it's been a wonderful journey, acknowledging the fact that a lot of us women now are ready to finally step up and take charge of our money, right? I'm sure a lot of you in the room agree, and that's why you are here today. How we started this is through personal finance courses and workshops like the one you're attending. And today we also have financial planning exclusively done for women. We've also built a platform called Your Money Sister, where you can come in, have a conversation with our coaches and figure out whether you want to really move past the inertia and take those next steps for yourself to actually really, make that transformation, right? And I'll talk a bit more about that at the end. Very interestingly, I repeat this many times. Many of us, especially women, walk into these sessions. We are carrying these baggages at the back of our head that I came from a non-finance background. I am not great at math. I don't do very well when it comes to numbers. And maybe that's why this is a skill that I don't have, or this is a skill which I'm resisting. So my urge, like in every session, is to please drop that barrier, because this is just like any other skill, like cooking, driving, swimming. It's simply like that. If you get a good coach, you get the structure and the rules, you can start playing the game, and you can actually start winning the game as well, right? So with that, I welcome you all to another session by Womanista. You can go back over the She Knows Money channel. There are all our previous sessions. And if you enjoyed today's session, you can go back and go over the other videos as well. So with that, let's get started with a topic called taxes. And I found this very, very interesting and funny quote on the internet, somewhere off the internet, which says that I wish complaining about taxes was tax deductible, because we find so many people who are constantly just complaining, why am I to pay tax? I don't want to pay even a little bit of tax, right? So with that, I thought, let's start with the very basics. There are some basic terminologies that we all must know. Now, even if you're leaning on a CA, right? Someone else does this for you, or your husband does this, or someone else, right? Does not mean that when you're looking at those documents, or when you're reading and filling up those documents, you don't know what those keywords are, because it just reduces your own confidence, right? It is not about someone else. It's about how you feel when you're facing those fears. So I thought, why not keep picking up some keywords and introducing it? Maybe you all know those words, but no harm in reflecting over. And maybe for some of you, it might actually be new words that you come across, right? So these are some basic, very simple 4 keywords that each one of us must know when it comes to taxes. Nothing very complicated. Financial year, assessment year, income tax return, deductions and exemptions. Okay. So the first question for everyone in the room, 24 of us here, what is the financial year? Can anyone quickly put it out in the chat box? Or if you want to unmute and just tell me quickly. What is the financial year? Come on.
Hi, I would like to
Hi.
say, I think it's the year April to March, and the active year is the financial year.
Right. So
Like
the year
what you're living right now.
What I'm living right now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So technically it's 1st April to 31st March. Absolutely right. It's the year in which I earn the income. Okay. In taxation terms, financial year is the year of earning my money, the income earning year. Okay. What is assessment year? Anyone?
The year which is over and I need to assess my tax and pay on that. So the previous year to the financial year actually.
Right. It's so assessment year will always be, in simple terms, the year in which you're actually, so you earn the income this year, but you're going to file for it after that, the next year, right? So assessment year is always +1. So if you see the terms financial year 2021-22, what will become the assessment year? Can anyone tell me? If the financial year is 2021-22, the assessment year is for the same financial year?
22-23.
22-23, because that's the year in which I'm actually going to be assessed for the income I earn, right? ITR, income tax return, something which you all dread filling and sending. What is it?
It's the crazy, huge bulk of document which has everything, our so-called profit and loss, and the earnings and investments. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's our Khulla Chitta, if anybody understands Hindi here. It's basically our chitta of everything that we have earned, the sources of income, the taxes that we've paid, and most importantly, it's that one verification document, many times used for multiple purposes, especially like visa purposes, etc., where you show them that, yes, I have an income. It's your government validated proof that I have some sources of income, right? And finally, deductions, exemptions, you all have heard these words as well. What is deduction? What is exemption?
Deduction would be like, whatever interests we pay or something. तो मतलब ऐसे सुना है, कान से पढ़ा है that the interest is deduction. It's deducted from your taxes because that's your expense, something like that. So an exemption will be that 80C, that is what we've come across कि ये ले लो, ये पे कर दो, तो 80C का आपको ये भी मिल जाएगा, receipt भी मिल जाएगा. So that will be an exemption, I guess.
Done. So for now, I will not get into the technical, definition, but for us to understand, any deduction or exemption is like a benefit which is given to us by the government, which helps to reduce the tax that I have to pay, in simple words. Okay. And today's session, we will talk about some surprise deductions and exemptions as well, right? So here it is for everyone's quick reference. You all know the answers. Those who don't, it's right here in front of you. Financial year 1st April to 31st March. Assessment year is the year in which returns are filed. It's always FY plus AY plus 1, which becomes your AY assessment year. Proof of your income is your ITR, and your any benefits to reduce your tax payable becomes your deduction or an exemption. Okay. Moving forward quickly, how tax works. You should know the process because there are simple 3 steps which happen whenever you are trying to calculate your tax payable. The first one is that we have multiple sources of income. So the first step is to categorize and add up all your sources of income. After that, this income is adjusted or reduced for certain deductions and exemptions, some benefits. And from there, you get an income on which the tax is calculated and paid. Okay. So today I'm going to discuss all these 3 steps with you. Very simple, not so complicated. There are 3 technical words which you all would have heard or maybe read. When you add up your income, it becomes your gross total income. When you remove some deductions from it, finally it comes down to a net taxable income, right? So I don't pay tax on everything I earn. After some benefits on the taxable income, I pay the tax. And for paying the tax, also I have to work with the slab rates, etc. Right? These are the 3 steps. So today I thought over the next 40-45 minutes, we will go over these 3 steps together. Okay. So the first step is figuring out my gross total income, right? And what comes under income? Very important. Now I'll talk a story about my friend, let's call her Anita. Okay. My friend Anita has many sources of income. Maybe you also have these, maybe your friends also have these. So she has an income from her job and she earns 48,000 rupees every month. She also has a property from which she gets a rental income of 25,000 every month. She also did some freelancing side hustle work from where she earned 55,000 rupees this year. She made some investments. She sold those investments and made some profit. Okay. That profit was around 85,000. And finally, she's very smart. She also has some fixed deposits with her. So she every year is also earning some interest on these fixed deposits. Okay. Now, each of these sources of income can be broadly categorized under the 5 heads of income. Every time you're filling an ITR or you're getting your form, right? Any form 16, etc., you will notice that it will have these heads of income mentioned. These are called the 5 heads of income as per Income Tax Act, right? As per income tax laws. Income from salary, income from house property, profits and gains from business or profession, income from capital gains, and income from other sources, right? Your salary, self-explanatory. House property, self-explanatory. If you're a professional, also have a side hustle, freelancer, everything that you make comes under profit and gains from business or profession. If you have made some investments and made some gains on it, that comes under capital gains. And finally, what is not fitting everywhere else fits under income from other sources. Typical example being if you have received some dividends or if you have received some interest on your FDs, etc. Right? That is your income from other sources. So that's the first step that you should know, that income has to be categorized in these 5 heads. The second step is the fun part, right? So this is the easy part. What I've earned, I know. Now the fun part starts. How do I start reducing my tax liability, right? So we've broken this down into 2 specific segments. One, are there some important deductions if you're a salaried person vis-a-vis if you're a self-employed person, right? So let's try to understand for all those in the room, how many are salaried? Please put it in the chat box. Maybe you want to pay attention to what I'm putting, right? If there are salaried people in the room, just put it out in the chat box. Okay. So we'll share a few exemptions for salaried, which if you don't know, then you must know about these. And then if there are some self-employed people who are doing any of their, freelancing work or have their own business set up, you can look at the deductions on the other side, right? So let's start with the salaried folks. So I have put down 3 major deductions that you all must be aware of. The first one is called the standard deduction. Now the standard deduction is a flat deduction of 50,000 that you get every year. Okay, not very complicated. Very simple thing to keep in mind about the standard deduction is that This 50,000 is irrespective of your time of employment and irrespective of your number of employers. What that means is if during the year you have changed jobs, okay, and you have 2 employers, you're not going to get 50,000 per employer. You will get only one flat 50,000 benefit for the entire year. Okay. Second very important point, supposing you have started working in say December, right? Does this 50,000 get adjusted based on the number of months that you're working? No. You will still be, so someone who's working from April vis-a-vis someone who's working from December does not matter. Both are eligible for a flat 50,000 deduction. Okay. This is very important. Second one is the HRA, house rent allowance. This is basically a partially deductible benefit, which means that you may get full benefit. The full HRA might be tax-free, or there would be a calculation basis which a small part of this amount that you're receiving as house rent allowance becomes tax-free, right? What is that calculation? I've given you those three, there is a calculation which is done, which says the HRA is exempt up to the least of the three options. The actual HRA that you get, the rent you pay minus 10% of your basic, and 50% of your basic if you're living in metros, 40% if you're living in non-metros. Okay, there is a calculation which is done. So for example, actually you're getting an HRA worth 2 lakh rupees. But as per these three criteria, the least amount comes down to say 1,20,000. Can anyone who's listening to me and who's not intimidated by numbers, can you tell me how much will be the taxable HRA for you? So you got 2 lakh rupees and the least of the three options came out to be 1,20,000. Okay. Now, what is going to be the taxable amount of your HRA and what is the tax-free amount? If even one person gets it, I know you all are listening then. 1.2 becomes my tax-free amount and the remaining 80,000, because I got 2 lakh rupees as HRA, the remaining 80,000 is my taxable HRA. That's how it is calculated. Is that clear? Any doubts and questions you all have, please keep putting it in the chat box. Okay. The third one is the leave travel allowance. Now, in case you take a holiday domestically with your family, you will get an exemption on that domestic travel cost, not the food, not the accommodation, not the shopping, nothing. On the domestic travel, you can claim a benefit, you can get a deduction. This is prescribed by the company. What is that limit? Okay. But you will have to show them or have some proof of your plane tickets, etc. And this you can claim not just for yourself, even for your spouse, dependents, brother, sister, children. You can claim for all of them, but only the travel tickets. The other catch here is that the government has given blocks of four calendar years. Okay, so right now we're in the 2022 to 2025 calendar year block. In this block, I can claim this benefit twice. Okay, in my 2023 travel and in my 2025 travel. I cannot do more than that in one block. Okay, so these are the three major exemptions which every salaried person must know about. Apart from that, there are other small allowances as well. But for now, these three definitely you should know about. Two major benefits which I want to talk about for self-employed. Now, if you're self-employed and you're still paying a rent and you're not getting any sort of HRA, house rent allowance, there is a section called 80GG under which you can get a benefit up to 60,000 rupees per year. You can get that benefit. By benefit, it means that if you're paying a rent on your house and you're not getting an HRA, you can still claim up to 60,000 rupees as a deduction on that rent. You can deduct it out of your payment. That's a separate deduction that you can claim, right? So many of us don't know that there is a separate benefit that I can get on the rent that I'm paying if I'm a business owner or I'm a freelancer, etc. Right? So this, the only catch here is supposing I was working in the financial year, I was working from say April to September. Then I quit and then I started doing something of my own. So during the time, if any time in the financial year you have got the HRA benefit, you cannot claim this. It has to be only one of the two things that you can claim. Either the 80GG benefit or the HRA benefit, right? That's the only cap here. But there is this section which you can check out if you are not getting an HRA. The second very important one is called a presumptive tax. Okay. Anyone here who is familiar with presumptive tax? I saw some people who said they were self-employed. Sheetal, I can see your question. Anyone here who has heard of this presumptive tax? Self-employed folks especially might have heard somewhere. Never heard of it? Okay. So generally, how does a business person calculate their tax payable? Generally, what is the system? That you're going to earn some revenues, right? You're going to deduct the expenses out of it. If there's some profit, you're going to pay some tax on it, right? That's typically the system that works, right? So a few years back, they introduced this concept called presumptive tax as a special section, especially with a focus on small business owners, as well as, standalone professionals like freelancers or doctors, architects, who want to run their own practices. So this is very valid if you're a small business owner, which means your turnover is less than 2 crores. And if as a professional, your income is less than 50 lakhs in a year. Okay. For this year, for the coming financial year, this limit has gone up. So if you're a business earning a revenue less than 3 crores or a professional who's earning less than 75 lakhs, then you should listen on. Right. Let me tell you a little bit about presumptive tax. Okay. So the first and major benefit that presumptive tax brings. So this is the first secret for any self-employed person here. And see, use this as your entry to this particular concept, right? You can have a chat in detail with your tax experts. But if you're a business who's earning less than that amount of income, right, you can go back, consider this as an option. Why? Because under the presumptive tax, one of the biggest benefits that the government gives is that you do not need to maintain books of accounts and you do not need to pay for an auditor who's going to audit this. So any small business owner here will understand that a lot of paperwork is done just for this practice of maintaining the books of accounts and getting them audited. It's paperwork, it's also cost that is added on for you, right? So if you don't want to do that, you can consider presumptive tax. What does this say? Right? It simply says that if I am a business, I'm giving you 2 examples. If you're a business with a turnover less than 1 crore, okay, and typically you're getting digital payments, which means all your UPI bank account transfers, right? You get those payments of approximately 45 lakhs and you're getting cash payments of the remaining 55 lakhs. Under presumptive tax, there is a simple rule which says how much of your total revenue will be considered as your taxable income. Which means you don't need to calculate kitne expenses the, you don't need to maintain those books of accounts. It just gives you a flat rule. So the rule for business is that for digital payments, whatever you have received, 6% of that will be considered as your taxable income. And for non-digital payments, which are your cash payments, 8% of that will be considered as your income. So if you had a turnover of 1 crore, for example, and through your digital payments, 2.7 lakhs will be considered as your income, and through your non-digital, 4.4 lakhs, which means your taxable income will be calculated at 7.1 lakhs. So you will, when you're doing your 5 heads of income under income from business, you will only be having to consider tax payable on the income of 7.1 lakhs. No one need to maintain any books of accounts or see, okay, how much expenses there, etc., etc. Similarly, if I'm a freelance professional, right, and I have earned like 18 lakhs last year. Now again, I will go back. I will either have to do my calculations. What are the expenses I've incurred? Otherwise, I can just opt for presumptive tax, which says your profits or your income, taxable income from freelance is considered as 50% of your receipts, right? So if you were to do a comparison, under presumptive tax, I actually earned 18 lakhs, but from a tax perspective, my taxable income is 50% of 18, which is 9 lakhs. Okay. Now, supposing you did your math, you went back, you did some calculations, and you figured that your expenses actually were 6 lakhs only. So as per your calculation, income minus expenses, your net profit will be 12 lakhs. So which one of the two do you think is more beneficial for this professional income? Which one of the two should they opt for? Should they opt for presumptive or should they go for the actual tax? Whoever
Presumptive
here
tax.
is, right? The net profit is lower, so they're going to pay tax on lower amount of income, one. And secondly, like I said, no need of maintaining books of accounts and no audit, no CA, nothing is required, right? Otherwise, there's a regulatory requirement that you have to have audited books, right? So I would suggest, if you are someone in this space, please go back, read up, talk to your CAs more about this. It might be a worthwhile option for you to consider to reduce your tax liabilities, right? Did you like this? Anyone in the room who had, because I saw a lot of you had not heard about it. Do you think this is something new, cool, interesting, secret? Didn't know, now you know. Okay, so this was one for all the self-employed folks. Now let's come to some other deductions, right? Some other ways that I can reduce my tax, right? One is Section 80C. Before I tell you what is under Section 80C, it's a popular cousin, so everybody should know about Section 80C. So tell me what all comes under 80C. What are the investments that I need to do, basis which I can get this 1.5 lakh benefit in a year? Let's go. Before I tell you. So I am getting questions. So iPhone 13 is that if expenses are, so you can do the comparison and choose which suits you, right? PPF, Rashmi says PPF. Doyle says medical insurance. Bavleen says investments. Which investments? LIC premium, yes.
ELSS.
ELSS is a mutual fund, tax saving mutual fund. Absolutely, Manisha. NPS, yes, Satira. You all have heard of these? Donations, I'll come to that. Okay, but you all know about 80C. In simple words, this is a flat 1.5 lakhs deduction that you can get in a financial year. Okay, so whatever income you have earned, if you want to get this 1.5 lakh benefit or minus karana hai, so you have to do certain things. What are the things that you have to do? Many of the popular options you all mentioned. A public provident fund, tax saving fixed deposits, typically 5-year long fixed deposits that you can do. Many banks offer this. Post office offers a 5-year term deposit, which is like a fixed deposit, has a fixed rate of interest. National Savings Certificate, another post office scheme, which comes with a fixed rate of return. If you're looking for something which is not assured, you can look at a ELSS, which is a tax saving mutual fund. NPS, retirement product by the government, but gives market link return, and life insurance policy premiums. Okay. Now, quick question for everyone. If I pay life insurance premium to ICICI, will that qualify under this 80C benefit? What do you all think? RDs won't come. No RDs will qualify for 80C. What is assured return and what is market link? Assured means if I am investing in PPF, I know that 7% return इसमें अभी चल रहा है interest, वो मुझे मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, right? That is an assured return. If I invest in a FD, upfront they tell me, okay, if you invest for 2 years, the return will be 6.5%. You know that, right? That means that I know there is an assurance. Market linked return means there is no assurance of how much guaranteed I'm going to get. But basis of historical performance, I can do an estimation that approximately I should be able to get, say, 12 to 14%, but it is not assured to me. That's the difference, right? So, no, first you all answer my question. If I pay an ICICI life insurance ka product मैंने खरीदा है, if I pay the premium for it, will I get a 80C deduction on that? If I have paid 1 lakh rupees as premium, what do you all think? Yes, 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 absolutely. So, any life insurance company, private or public, does not matter. All life insurance products will give you the 80C benefit. Okay, this is clear. One. Second, one of you has asked, one term insurance or it has to be investment plus insurance product. What do you think? Will I get benefit if it is a term insurance? What is term insurance? We did a session on insurance. You can go back and check. But basically, simple words, term insurance is an insurance where there is no return and all linked. It's just a pure cover. Do you think it's a protection only? Nothing, no returns at the end. Will I get benefit?
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. So today's front bencher is Manisha. Right? So we are going to get term insurance or an investment linked insurance, does not matter. It has to be a life insurance company. You will get the benefit. Many times people confuse only LIC we have to buy because only LIC. Aisa kuch nahi hai. Okay. You can opt for other companies as well who give you better products. No harm. Right. Some hidden gems. And many of you missed out actually. So maybe you would like to hear about some hidden gems from where you can actually get this 80C benefit. Right. There is something called a EPF. All those who are salaried, you've heard of EPF? Salaried folks in the room, I'm sure there is some EPF which is being cut from your salaries, an employee provident fund. Heard of it? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. Done. So EPF and PPF are different. We all know that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So EPF is a different product. PPF is a different product. PPF is for everyone. Even if I'm not employed with anyone, I run my own business, I can open my PPF account. But if you're employed only, then you get a EPF account, right? So your contribution to EPF is also under 80C. Then if you are doing a voluntary contribution to this EPF, which means over and above your 12% basic, you increase this up to 100% of your basic. That also is added to this 1.5 lakhs ka deduction. So Kanya Samriddhi Yojana, special scheme by the government for young girls, is also whatever investments you're doing for that is also counted against 80C. Then two, which many of you didn't mention, these are like the easy ways to get deduction. If anybody has kids here in the room, you're paying tuition fee for your children. Anyway, you're paying that. You can get a deduction on that as well. And finally, if you have a home loan, whatever is the principal amount of that home loan, not the interest part, the principal part, whatever is being repaid year on year, that part of the home loan also will be added to your 80C benefit. So net, you don't have to do too much effort to get this 80C benefit, especially those who are in salaries. Many times your EPF, and if you have, children, then your children tuition fee together, maybe one or two little bit investments you have to do and you're done. Maybe one or two life insurance premiums and that's pretty much it, right? It's covered. Over and above this 1.5 lakhs, there is a special benefit if you invest in NPS, National Pension Scheme. If you do that, which is a government-backed product, retirement product, there if you do another 50,000, you will get additional 50,000 benefits. So under this entire section 80C, you can get 1.5 lakhs, plus if you do NPS, you can get additional 50,000, which makes it 2 lakhs. Okay, so this is clear. I think this everybody would, you have an idea about this 80C. I mean, should not be something which we have never heard. Most of us would have heard of this, right? Then let's talk about some other deductions, which many times, many of us are not fully aware. We know maybe that there are these deductions, but I don't know exactly how it works. Right? So 80C is up to 1.5 lakhs plus this 50,000 of NPS. Over and above that, so this one is for Doyle, because you mentioned medical insurance, right? So your health insurance premium is over and above your 1,50,000 exemption. Okay, so yay, I can get an additional benefit, right? So if I'm actually paying whatever the premium I'm actually paying in the year up to rupees 25,000, and considering I am not a senior citizen, I am less than 60, I can claim as a deduction here. If I have senior citizen parents for whom also I am paying the health insurance premium, for senior citizens, this benefit is up to 50,000, right? So if I'm paying for them, plus I'm paying for myself, I can club that together and claim all the way up to 75,000 rupees of benefit on my health insurance premium, over and above that 1.5 lakhs, right? That's one, very important. Many times people confuse that this is also limited to that 1.5. No, it's over and above that. Second, Anyone in the room who has an education loan for themselves or for their children should know about ATE, right? ATE is the interest on your education loan. This has no upper limit, but it has a time limit. If you have taken an education loan for yourself or for your kids, right? Whatever is the interest payable every year, you will get a full tax benefit on that, but only up to 8 years from the year of repayment. That is an additional benefit, okay, with no upper limit. The third one, this one is really a secret one, and you all can tell me if you all knew this. The ATTTA or ATTTB, many times, at least many people I have interacted with don't even know that there is such a deduction which exists, right? This is the interest on your savings bank account, okay? Whoever didn't know that, please put that we did not know and tell me that, which one of these is exciting and new for you. So whatever interest I'm earning on my savings bank account, up to 10,000 rupees, I can claim as a benefit on that also, right? There's another further 10,000 rupees deduction for this. If you are doing this for your senior citizen parents, there is a deduction called ATTTB for them. And this benefit is up to 50,000 for them. And not just their savings bank account, even for their fixed deposit, their recurring deposit, the interest that they're earning, up to 50,000 rupees is exempt under this section. And many times we don't know, we are not aware of this section that it exists as well. And donations, ATG, most of us would know this. The only thing you wouldn't know is there is no upper limit here. If you are paying to a charity, please make sure that it is a qualified charity. Check with them. They should give you a proper certificate, right? And either it will be 100% tax benefit or it will be 50% tax benefit. So you check with them. Where do they qualify? They have to give you a proper certificate. And with that, you can claim a benefit on ATG as well, right? So these are the 4 other ways that you can get a deduction. Tell me which of these was new for you guys in the chat box.
Neha, may I ask you a question about preventive health checkup, that 5,000 rupees which we get it? So
yeah, it's under 25,000. It's under this
25,000.
Yeah, it's under this clause, right?
Okay.
Any other doubts, questions?
I have a question with respect to this 5,000 preventive only, but how do you you save the bills and that's how you claim it, or
Yeah,
you just
save
mention
the
it?
bill. Just save the bill. They will add it. So you don't have to send any proofs and everything. In case, scrutiny or someone from the IT department does reach out, then that is the situation. Otherwise, you can just claim it.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Neha.
Yeah, hi.
Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Neha, my question is pertaining to LTA, Leave Travel Allowance.
Yeah.
So, for example, my company gives me a 10,000 limit LTA for me. So, Neha, you have said that we can claim LTA for a family also.
Up to that limit, no?
Yes. So my doubt was, Neha, if me and my sister go to a tour, so for example, I have to claim that LTA. So only I can claim it for myself, right?
No, you can claim it for your sister. Yes, you can claim it for your sister.
But Neha, मेरा question ये था कि क्यों मेरे company मेरे sister के लिए pay करेगा? For example, मुझे
ट्रैवल के लिए ना, तो वो कह रहे हैं आपके फैमिली में डिपेंडेंट, आपके अगर पेरेंट्स भी आपके साथ ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, अगर आपके ब्रदर सिस्टर कर रहे हैं, तो वो उन्होंने कहा कि ठीक है, बंदा ट्रैवल, सारे तो सोलो ट्रैवलर्स नहीं होते ना, कई लोग जाएंगे शायद फैमिली के साथ, तो दे आर गिविंग यू दैट बेनिफिट। तो साल में वो 2 बार ही दे रहे हैं ना, 4 साल के ब्लॉक में, और वो भी सिर्फ फ्लाइट की टिकट पे दे रहे हैं या जो भी आपका ट्रैवल है, तो आप दे रहे हैं, आप अपने HR से कंफर्म करो, बट एज पर द रूल्स इट इज योर फैमिली मेंबर्स में आपके ब्रदर सिस्टर, आपके स्पाउस, आपके चिल्ड्रन, आपके डिपेंडेंट पेरेंट्स, दे ऑल आर काउंटेड।
सो नेहा, आप कह रहे हो कि मैं LTA में अपने सिस्टर के लिए भी क्लेम कर सकती हूँ?
जी, ये कह रही हूँ।
Okay, thanks Neha, that's it.
Okay, ladies, I know there are a few more questions. Maybe I'll take one question more and then we'll open the questions again at the end, because there is more stuff which I want to do with you. And then there's that practical thing also. Is there anything? Do you have to submit LIC statement or nothing? Just keep all your statements, everything with you, or you generally will go and give all this documentation to your CA so that they can compile everything that you have. Otherwise, all your premiums, receipts, proofs, you have to keep with yourself. ITR, by the way, they are very smart. They are already capturing everything because now everything is linked to your PAN card, Aadhaar card, everything is linked. So, आप नहीं भी देना चाहो तो वो सब capture हो रहा है. ठीक है. Okay. Do you all want to do a little calculation? If you're up for it, we'll do it. Otherwise, I can skip. No problem. Up for it? Yes, no. Skip to the next. Put it in the chat box. Otherwise, we can keep moving forward.
Up for it.
Up for it. We'll try to do at least if we get the hang of it. I thought just because we have given so many deductions, let's try once. So say Nitya has an income of 8 lakh rupees. Okay. Now here are a few things that Nitya has done. Let's go over this slowly together. She is contributing to EPF 40,000 rupees per year. Whoever wants to do a little calculation, open your calculators or open your Excel sheet, whatever, right? You can do this. She also has a daughter whose tuition fee she is paying, which is 30,000 every quarter. Okay. Health insurance premium, she is paying for herself and her daughter, which is 11,000 rupees. And also 25,000 for her mother, who is 66 years old. She has invested 35,000 in the NPS scheme. She earned 15,000 interest from her savings and has donated 10,000 to charity. Can you all tell me what are her total deductions? Can anybody do the calculation slowly and tell me what do you think will be her total deductions? I'm going to wait and then let's see. I have given you all a hint. Quickly tell me, does this 40,000 qualify as a deduction? Yes or no? Yes? Yeah? Okay. Daughter's tuition fees? Does it qualify? Yes or no? Yes? I have Atira.
Yes.
Okay. Now together, if I look at this calculation, it is 40,000 plus 30,000 per quarter, which is 1,20,000, right? 40 plus 120, 160. So has she covered under 80C fully? 150 is done for the year? Yes? I know. 1,60,000 हो गया ना पूरा. यहाँ 40,000 हुआ. यहाँ 30 per quarter है ना into 4. 1,20,000 हो गया ना साल का. So 1,20,000 plus 40, 1,60,000. तो पूरा 150 हो गया. Health insurance premium, can anyone tell me how much he will qualify? No worries, it's a trick question. Atira, even I added little twist there just for this. Health insurance, anyone? How much will she qualify for? Any clue?
For non-senior citizen, Neha, it was how much health insurance?
25,000.
25,000. And for senior citizen, it was?
50,000.
50,000. Okay.
Okay. So full amount 20. So what has she paid? 11 plus 25. So 36,000 fully she can claim. Very good. Correct. Then additional which she has done 35,000, that also she can claim up to that 50,000 का benefit है. And then interest पे कितना save कर सकते हैं? Anyone? How much on interest if you remember? TTA 10,000 here, and then donations में, let's assume it's 100% she's getting benefit, so 10,000 here as well, right? So if I just total it up, her total deductions come to approximately 2.41 lakhs, which means now, is she going to pay tax on 8 lakhs? No, she will be paying tax on 5,51,000. Big benefit of being able to do all these things, right? Awesome. The real question is, how much tax did she save? So we've understood about deductions. We've got to know about few new deductions as well, right? But we finally want to see tax kitna bacha, right? Iske liye we need to understand two more things. And this is the last section. So I will only talk about, so if anyone's sleepy, wake up. Last section for today. We are going to talk about the tax regime and we're going to talk about the tax slabs. Okay. Now there is something called the old regime and the new regime. You all are familiar with this old regime, new regime? You ever heard? Anyone in the room who has never heard What is this old regime, new regime? Shruti says she doesn't need to pay tax only.
Just heard about it, but have no
Heard
idea.
about it.
And new
You know-
information I learned is that 7 lakh के ऊपर नहीं भरना है some taxes. Yeah.
7 lakh के नीचे. ऊपर तो
Sorry,
भरना है.
नीचे. Yes, नीचे.
Correct. ठीक है. So basically एक जमाना होता था where the taxation process was the way I taught you, na, 3 steps. The total income, then the deductions are gone, and after deductions are gone, some amount is left, and then on that there is a tax slab. So basis the slab, you're calculating how much income tax I have to pay. Now, last year, they introduced this thing called as a new regime. Okay, so this is option number 2. With this new regime, they came up with some new slabs, right? Which basically means they try to optimize if you are within a certain range of income, maybe your tax liabilities might be very different. The tax percentages would be different. Okay. What is the reason? Many times, a lot of us are doing investments, etc., only for tax saving. The government said, oh, why do only those kind of investments? Maybe you all want to have more money to do other kinds of investments or just spend it for that matter. So let's also introduce a regime where there is no deductions at all. Okay, we'll take your income, we'll just remove the deduction part of it, and then whatever income you have, we will just put a tax on that. Okay, so let's try to understand what is the difference between this old regime and new regime. Okay, and then let's look at the tax slabs as well. And of course, I'll do a practical activity, then Shruti can get the answer. How much tax did she save? We will see 2-3 scenarios. Okay. So this, I'm telling you, ladies, is applicable as of the financial year right now, which means the funds for which you will all be filing your ITR. Okay, not for the next financial year. The next financial year, some edits have been made, which I'll share in the next slide. But for this financial year, these are the tax slabs up to 2.5 lakhs on both tax regimes, no taxes payable. This is for the current financial year, 22-23. Okay, ending 31st March 2023. Right. 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, 5% tax. Now this comes under something which is a rebate. Okay. So what is a rebate? It's a gift. That's why I put this picture of a gift. The government has given us a gift saying, Vaise to if you were under 2.5 lakhs, you didn't have to pay tax. But here is my gift to you. If you have taxable income less than 5 lakh rupees, no tax. This 5% also is maaf. In case you have paid it, please file your ITR, take a refund, and money is back. Okay. So in your mind, you can say, okay, 5 lakhs tak to no tax. Even if I have paid, I will get that money back. Now you will notice the difference between the old and the new tax regime starts from 5 lakhs all the way up to 15 lakhs. Right. Can you see the rates of interest are different? Right. The tax slabs are different. In the older regime, the rates become much higher, right from 5 lakhs plus. But in the new regime, they have only increased the rates by 5%. So between 5 to 7.5, it was 10%. Then 7.5 to 10, it is 15%. So all the way up to 15 lakhs, you are getting some sort of a benefit if you were in the new tax regime. But we don't know because the clause is everything is not so great. Under the new tax regimes, all the deductions that I talked about, none of them apply. Okay. So if you are already paying a LIC premium, no deduction. If you are paying EPF, no deduction. If you are paying if you're already doing some tax saving mutual fund investments, or you are paying child's tuition fee, none of this will be considered, right? Your health insurance premium, nothing. All that is crap. They don't give you no HRA, no LTA, nothing is applied on new tax regime. Okay. The only thing as of this financial year which is applied is your employer's contribution to NPS, not even standard deduction. Okay. Going forward, they have made some changes. I will share that with you. Okay. So this is very important to know that new regime, lower rates, but no tax benefit, no deduction benefit. So how do I choose? So I thought I'm going to leave this a little calculator with you all. Okay. How much did she save? This is on the income tax website. So it's the most authentic possible source. Only if you all say yes, because I'm really at the last mile. If you all say yes, then we will quickly try to do one sample calculation for Nitya and see whether how much tax she paid and how much she benefits. But yes, for that, please. I need some enthusiasm in the room. Yeah, please, let's do it. So I'm going to share this link and I'm going to share this with all of you. Just give me a second. Even later, you all can try and refer to this if you want. The only thing is this is not showing for next year. This is right now showing only for, you all can see this screen. Okay. So this is the income tax website calculator. So really the most authentic possible source, right? So this, if you all can see, let's try to fill it as Nitya. Okay. So we are trying to fill it for the current financial year, 22-23. So assessment year kya hoga? 23-24, right? So I go and select that. Here it asks me, you all can see the calculator, right? Yeah, Doyle? Yeah, okay. Now it asks you a question like this. Are you opting for tax under section 115 BAC? Does anyone know what this is? This fancy word? This is what we just talked.
No.
New regime or old regime? They make it complicated. So if you're opting for new regime, you will say yes, right? Like I think Shruti in the room said, yes, if she goes for new regime, she will not pay any tax. But we are talking of this year, maybe next year, yes. She's fallen under that, but she's taken deductions. So we'll have to check, right? If you go for new regime, then you opt to say yes. If we are going for old regime, we go for no. Okay. So let's say for now, we are saying no. Let's try with all her deductions and benefit how much tax she is paying. Should we do that? So I want to click no. I'm going for the old regime. Male, female, doesn't matter. Residential status, for now, just take resident. NRI is different. Now here it is giving you all, can you see those heads of income which we discussed, right? So say for her, income was 8 lakhs, right? 8 lakh was her income. Then let's say for now she has no other sources of income. And let's try to play with her deductions, okay? I'll try to do whatever I remember. I will add that here. So 40,000 was her EPF, if I remember. Then it gives you all the options. Can you see the options which we discussed? Tuition fee she's paying for the children is 1,20,000, right? Additional contribution to NPS, 35,000 she was doing. No Sukanya Samriddhi, nothing. Then your Mediclaim comes under 80D. So 36,000 she was getting under this. Nothing else. Donations, I think she had done 10,000 worth of donations. Can you see all those which you had seen? Higher education, nothing was there. And interest on savings account, TTA, another 10,000. Right? So can you all see? I think I have either missed something here. 5,59,000. If I just go down, what is the income tax liability she has to pay? 25,272. Now, supposing she had not done any of these investments, 25,272. If I have not done any of this, I have not taken any benefit, right? For example, I'll just remove all this. Nothing. No benefit is there. Okay.
Neha,
have a
have you
question.
considered standard deduction of 50,000?
And let's assume अभी इसमें count कर दिया, वरना मैं 7,50,000 भी कर सकती हूँ. But for now, let's assume कि वो already accounted for है, Manisha.
Okay.
Okay. For sake of simplicity, you have a point there, but अभी के लिए just to show everybody the difference, right? So ये same situation है, 8 लाख रुपए. अब इसमें अगर मैंने कोई benefit नहीं लिया ladies, तो मैं 25,000 की जगह मैं दे रही होंगी 75,400 का tax. That is the big difference when you start using these deduction benefits. जितने आप deductions use करते जाओगे, उतना आप अपनी tax liability 50,000 almost का difference है आपके इस case में. इसी पे आप जाके खेल सकते हो. If you all want, we can even try once. अगर मैं इसको shift कर दूं और इसको मैं new tax regime में ले जाऊं, ठीक है? अब new tax regime में आप देख सकते हो deductions. Deduction के नीचे क्या आया? Did I get any of those benefits? जो सारे थे, कोई benefit नहीं आया. एक ही आया employer's contribution. And here, to your point, Shruti, 46,800 is her tax payable. Now, out of these three options, which option do you think is working best for Nitya? In one option, it is 25,000. One option, it is 75,000. One option, new regime, it is 46,000. Which one do you think is working best for her?
The first
Definitely
one.
the deductions.
Definitely the deductions, right? So
Right.
why I'm sharing this calculator, at least for this year, you all can try to use this for yourself, right? And try to figure out which regime and how much deductions is working better for you. Okay. So this is one thing I wanted to share, at least for this year. Now going forward next year, few things are going to change, right? The new regime has got revised. One of you rightly said that the basic exemption limit has gone up from 2.5 to 3 lakhs, and the rebate has been extended to 7 lakhs. Only in the new regime, not in the old regime. So old regime it is still at 5, new regime it is at 7. The tax slabs have been further changed and reduced, right? So there is some benefit there as well. And finally, standard deduction is now allowed in both the regimes. Right? So whatever benefit they're equal. There is not that 50,000 ka benefit which old regime was getting. That is no longer there. The other very important thing to know is that now the old regime is become something you have to choose. If you are not choosing as a salaried person that I want the old regime, by default, your tax calculation is going to happen under the new regime. Now, simple thing which I'm going to leave you all with when you're exploring this calculator as well, or if you find other calculators which you can go and explore for the new changes. But a simple thing which you want to see, especially those who are sitting in the 7 lakh to 15, 16 kind of lakh kind of a bracket. The benefits that you would get in the new regime would be higher if you're not claiming very many deductions. Typically 3.5 lakhs plus of deductions is where the new old regime starts becoming beneficial, right? The higher your income, the chances are very high that the old regime would suit you better. So these are simple rules that you can try to look at. If you are between the, in that bracket of your 7 to 15, 18 lakhs, chances are if you're not using enough deductions, you will be better off in the new regime. Okay. If you are above that 15 lakh limit and you're using 3.5 to 4 lakh plus kind of deductions, typically you have a home loan, you're already paying very heavy insurance premiums, you have a good EPF contribution, etc., then chances are very high that you will be better suited in the old regime. Okay. And with that, I am going to leave you with one little call to action. If you're someone who's still sitting on the bench, has not booked their free 15 minutes call with us, please use the link. I'm going to put the link in the chat box. Please use that, book your free 15 minutes discovery call, have a chat with us, our team. Whatever is the kind of questions, how do I get started with my investments? If there is a specific question you have around, taxes or investments you have done, you want to talk about how to start planning for a specific goal you have in mind, any of this, feel free to come and have that conversation with us. And of course, don't forget to follow us. And now the floor is open for questions before we wrap. I hope you all enjoyed the session today. It was not as taxing as taxes really is.
The session was really simple to understand and it was really good. मुझे एक क्वेश्चन पूछना था नेहा regarding LTA only. My company has a limit of 10K. Flight costed me 16K नेहा. So which should be claimable?
10.
16. 10.
जो limit है उसके नीचे.
Okay.
Neha, we have a few questions. May not be, we would be, we have the time to answer or take up all of them, but a couple of them.
Maybe two, three questions we will happy to take up.
Someone said that, house rent is not captured in Aadhaar. So why is it, yes, how is it, getting captured?
Actually, house rent वगैरह का भी है, जब आप 50,000 से ज्यादा का देते हो तो आपको देना पड़ता है पैन कार्ड वगैरह. तो अगर काफी लोग कैश वैश में ले रहे हैं, बट आई एम प्रीटी श्योर सूनर देन लेटर इसका भी हैक निकल ही आएगा. तो मतलब फेयर पॉइंट है, वो अभी वहां पे बच रहे हो आप सब, ठीक है, हम बचे हुए हैं. जब तक नहीं होता उनका हैक, अगर आ जाएगा उसका हैक तो वो भी फंस जाएगा, बिकॉज 50,000 से ऊपर यू हैव टू डिक्लेयर पैन कार्ड ऑफ.
Hi, I always have loved your sessions, so thank you so much. And
Thank
my question is, about tuition fees that you mentioned. So
Haan ji.
now, generally, like, we take up these courses. Like personally, I don't have a child. So personally, we take up some tuitions, or maybe if I have to enroll for Viminista or
समझ
something
गई.
like that. So then,
वो claimable है
can
कि
that
नहीं?
also? Huh?
नहीं.
Nahi?
Not as
Oh,
far as I know,
okay.
नहीं. Otherwise कितने सारे लोग और आके ले रहे होते हैं हमारी क्लास में. But jokes
Okay.
apart, नहीं. Education, like if you're doing like scaling yourself up, a lot of times companies have this kind of a benefit sometimes they give to their employees.
Okay.
But that you will have to check with your company.
So then
So Neha,
I
is there
work in
any
a
upper limit for this tuition fees?
Where 1.5 lakhs? 80C के अंदर आता है ना?
हाँ, right.
80C में आता है ना, तो 1.5 lakhs का साल का लिमिट है.
Right.
Neha, I have one question. Suppose,
Hanji.
for example, you apply for the house loan and it's a joint ownership.
Hanji.
And like, say, for example, me and my daughter, we are buying a new house and I don't want to use the tax ka benefit and I want to pass it over to my daughter. Then is that possible if we are, if she's the first applicant and I'm
She
the
will
second
anyway
applicant?
have her own benefit. So co-borrowers and co-owners का रूल होता है. आपको
Okay.
co-borrower होना है और co-owner होना है. ठीक है?
Co-owner.
है ना? अब she will also have her benefit, मतलब वो principal amount claim कर सकती हैं और 2 लाख तक का interest claim कर सकती हैं, and you can also do the same.
No, if I don't want to do, then she can claim the whole
वो तो अपना
benefit.
करेंगी,
No?
हाँ, वो तो अपना पूरा कर लेंगी, हाँ.
Okay. Thank you.
So we have come to the end of the session. Okay, I'd request Parisha to launch poll 2. Okay. In the meantime, my heartiest thanks to Neha. Okay, for being so wonderful as usual, for being so relatable as usual, because I understand, from where I am sitting today, that this is one subject like maths most of us dread. And for people at your, of your stature and caliber who makes it easy and simple for us, we are very, very grateful to you. And we look forward to this particular journey where tax is, whether we like it or not, is part of our lives. And as responsible citizens and as earners, where, whether self-employed or salaried, we need to pay our taxes and keep our books clean. So that is where Neha and her team are working hard day in and day out and making our lives easier. Thank you, Neha. Thank you for being so wonderful. And hopefully we will have the next session on 30th of March. And for people who have children or, in the future will have children, it's on your child's education. The timings are the same, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We will get back to further details. From the team, it will come to you. The poll results are out. The question was, do you think this session has helped you better understand key tax terms, how tax is calculated, and how once we can save on taxes? And yes, the clarity and the confidence with which people have answered this is 60%, and partially new things, which will take time. And if you attend Neha's session, henceforth, it will, you will jump up to the first category in no time at all. So with this, we come to an end to this session. I wish all of you a very nice evening ahead, and hopefully we will meet very soon. You take care till then. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.